Oh yeah, that's Scotch. G'day, I'm Wayne Nielsen and this is my 1992 XT OKA. OKAs were made in Perth in the 90s for the mining and exploration in WA primarily. About 450 were made. This is number 50. This one was also a two-wheel drive for the Argyle diamond mine and later converted to a four-wheel drive. This is OKA50, finally done, and let me show you around. OKA50 started life as a two-wheel drive at the Argyle diamond mine, but we've done a couple of trips with it. Luckily we were able to do a trip to the Canning stock route before we actually did the motorhome conversion, and that was really useful because we were able to test out some of the things that ultimately we wanted to incorporate in the final build to see if they worked or not. So that was a really worthwhile experience. The bus loves the sand dunes. It is absolutely awesome. Normally four-wheel drive high, first or second gear. We go up all the dunes in and about 10-12 kilometres an hour. So it's a really controlled environment. No backing down the dunes. If you're in second and it runs out of steam, put it in first, and from a standing start, it'll finish off a dune. It's absolutely terrific. Since then, we've done a number of trips around Queensland, out to Popel's Corner, Fraser, Moreton, all the normal things as well, and we are absolutely loving it. The bar on this one is an aluminium replacement. It's a copy of the original steel bar, but it's 75 kilo lighter. We've replaced the original lights with LEDs and a couple of big ultravisions to burn the bums off kangaroos at a kilometre. Front winch and of course the UHF, and we've got the two aerials, one for the in-cab radio and also one for the radio in the kitchen. We've replaced the original shocks with a set of King's truck shocks, and they're just riding absolutely fantastic. We've got the step in the centre of the wheel with the serrated edges. That's how we get up into the cab. 1 foot there, one on the end of the bar, and then we swing in. We've got two sets of batteries. One on either side for the cranking battery, and obviously the fuel filter on the side as well. As we go along, steps up into the cab. These fold up, and when we close the door, it's held in place so they can't come down. Our design criteria for the rig was 90% outside living and 10% inside, so the whole thing is very much an outdoor living. And this is our fold down kitchen. All of our cutlery and stuff is already in position. We've got water on tap, and also the Simmarine that tells us everything about where the power's being used, how much water we've got left, etc. Our radio, but one of the absolute features of this truck is that there's an inbuilt 5 litre Scotch tank, and that happens might have to just double check that's actually Scotch. Oh yeah, that's Scotch. Drawers, of course, for storage. Most important one is this drawer, which was designed specifically for a can of baked beans, so that we make maximum use of the depth of the drawer. Travel buddy, and we've also got the drawer fridge as well. Oh yeah, well, that's important. The other thing I'll demonstrate is our cooker. Just put that's stored in a little slot at the back, and that works absolutely fantastic. We don't even bother carrying a fry pan anymore, we just use that plate, and then this folds away. And stores very nicely. One added benefit of that is because the wind never stays in coming from one direction. It can also go out to 180 degrees, so that if the wind changes you can still cook and put up the windbreak. On the back we've got 2 spares. We run 37s on the OKA. A couple of bags, one for rubbish, and this one at the moment is carrying some firewood. These are pretty heavy, obviously. Getting them up and down would be a major exercise, and so we utilise the rear winch, and that's what this is for the winch cable, which is a Dyneema rope to rub on. Goes up around the pulley and onto the tyre, and then you can raise it up and lower it down. On this side we've in the toolbox is our recovery gear, also an ARB twin compressor and tank. We've got the drop down shower. We have a shower in 2 litres of water, utilising our spray bottle that gives us pressure. Yeah, this is my favourite part of the truck. Wendy's is probably the Scotch tank. Mine's the man cave. This is a pretty neat feature. Yeah, these are a bit of Velcro, and they just stay on there, and inside are all of the ancillary tools that I need. Because we're doing long trips, obviously the cab and seating are pretty important that they're comfortable. So the original OKA seats were a bit how's your father. They've been replaced with a couple out of a Pathfinder, fully electric, and they're really comfortable touring seats. Probably the main feature in the cab is the car PC, which runs a 10.25 inch touchscreen and is a Windows-based computer. It runs all of our navigation, both on-road and off-road, and with a big 10.25 inch screen you can zoom in and zoom out, particularly on the off-road mapping, which is Explore Oz. Probably the next most important thing for mine is a tyre pressure monitoring system. That means that if we do get a flat tyre, we get a very early warning, and we end up with still having just a puncture rather than shredding a tyre. And in remote areas that's pretty important. Obviously have UHF, we carry sat phone and EPIRB, and a spot which lets family and friends follow where we are. Yeah, the OKA's awesome to drive. One of the benefits of it is that it has very long leaf suspension, and so it gives you a ride that's a little bit like riding in an old Cadillac on the highway. so you'll sort of lope along. Very, very comfortable. You've got all the normal gauges, etc., tell you what you're doing. But we cruise at 95. It runs a 4 litre 4-cylinder motor. I carry 320 litres of diesel, and when returning from the Canning stock route, we filled up in Port Augusta and drove through to Brisbane without filling up. So we get about 14.5, 14.7 litres per 100 on the open road. Inside the motorhome, probably the first thing you generally look to do is make sure you've got enough power. So we run an Energize system. We've got two 200-watt solar panels on the roof, and that means that we can stay in one position if there's light literally indefinitely, as we don't chew a lot of power. We've only got the 2 fridges and the dunny and a few LED lights, so we don't really chew too much. We wanted somewhere to go in inclement weather, but really it's somewhere to sleep. We've got a pop top that gives us plenty of spacious room, and the whole design was really to try and keep it as open and spacious as possible. One of the criteria was that because we're not particularly tall, we were able to have the bed running across the back, which saves a lot of room when you're doing your design. And the next thing that created a lot of space was to have 2 chairs which face inward, so that you utilise the space of the aisle in the middle for the table. And we were lucky enough to pick up a couple of 200 or 3rd row 200 series leather seats, which was mounted facing inward. The table arrangement then slides out from underneath the bed, and that is a marine gas pedestal with 2 locking positions, so that it folds right down, slides away. When you pull it out, release the clamps and up it comes, and then it slides across the top of the bed so that you can get in and out of the seats. We run a 130 litre fridge, and then under the fridge there's a self-composting toilet which rolls out into the doorway where I'm sitting, and utilises that space. The beauty of the composting toilet is that you don't have to worry about all the chemicals that you do with the porta potty. And but I'd say, without being crude, it lasts 3 to 4 weeks. Well, that's pretty much how we've built up the OKA. I guess it's the culmination of 40 years of four-wheel driving and camping on my part to fit in all the things that suit Wendy and I when we're touring. Certainly like to thank Jake from Tactical Tourers for all the help with the electrical side. There was a time when he learnt from me, I'm now learning from him, but all of that's just working fantastic, and we're looking forward to our next set of adventures as we set off around Australia.